They were able to wait just a little bit, so they
are we talking about the destruction of the Batmobile?
Hey, what? You know what? You didn't even see the movies. You can't even talk about this, man. Yeah. I don't know who you think you are, but you know, I'm just gonna play this.
I'm going to whip it out.
It's been way too long since I've seen that.
That's what you want to know.
Yeah, there you go, and you'll get the answer to that soon, fellas. What is up, everybody?
Yo.
What is up, everybody? And yes, I am here. Surprisingly enough, I am.
Yeah, we traded up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah. Of course, we are Andre-less today.
Yeah, that sounds good.
See, he hates me so much that even when I finally get back on the show, he's just like, you know what? I can't be here. I can't do this. Austin just pisses me off too much. But you know, that's what I do. I piss people off. I'm not a nice person. So
no, that's me.
Take it easy, sweetheart.
Yeah, take it easy.
How was the prison break? Oh well, you know, I had a really fun time breaking out of prison. You know, because yes, as you saw, this is a picture of me in court.
He had a good lawyer, but
apparently my lawyer is 6'10". Because I'm 6'5", and apparently that woman's really tall too. You could have picked at least a better picture, I guess.
It wasn't a good day in court. No. You were not happy to be there.
No.
But guys, welcome to 4Nerds episode 84. Obviously, you guys saw the thumbnail, so you know what we'll be talking about the majority of the time. But with me, as always, whenever I'm here, of course, we've got our good friend Unfiltered, Philip Barker. We've got Ryan Zeeverfett. We got ACS, Anthony Sherfield from the ACS Universe, and a certain thing came out this week that we're going to be talking about. But first, for the first time in a while, I want to see how the chat's doing. We got Droga. Dude, Axel, what's up?
What up?
Axel's
what up?
Great Nightmare League pictures that he did the other day in the animation style.
Yeah, good stuff.
Doing fantastic work. Got Abel Vidales. What is up?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
What up? We got Dennis. What's up, Dennis?
What up, Dennis?
We got McLovin.
McLovin!
Yes, you're welcome. I perfectly quoted your comment. We got Paul Smith. So what's cracking, guys? Hope everyone is well and good. Doing well, man. Love all the hand signals. Oh, wait. They're showing emojis through StreamYard now?
Oh, wow. Yeah, apparently. They used to be black and white. Now they're... Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Let's go.
Nice.
Cool beans.
We got Fear Jason. What's up, guys? What is up? We got RJ. What's up, man?
Yo.
We got Oric. Oric, what's up, dude?
What up? It's been a while.
I saw an IMAX fan event on Tuesday. Same here.
Yep.
Same.
And that's on screen. We will talk about that for sure on our opinions of that. Katsuka.
What's up?
What's up, man? What is up?
Anthony Beltray is for once not thumbs downing something.
It's the trash man.
Shri, what is up?
Yo.
What is up, Shri? Good to see you. Got Derpy Gaming. Mr. Purchase Fiddle.
Yo. Man, we got some good guys in the chat and gals.
Got a lot of great supporters. 187. Great supporters.
Yeah, great supporters.
Great supporters. Wow.
Love it.
Shawshank Redemption.
And Rayo, what's up?
Hey, Rayo.
Yo, what's going on?
What is up? Yes, indeed. Hit that like button. Do it, because it helps us out. And we're glad you guys are here. Well, first off, guys, it's been a while. How you guys been doing?
Doing all right, man. Just got back from my second viewing.
I'm going to my second viewing tomorrow and my third viewing on Saturday.
Nice.
Wow.
So, doing a little triple duty here.
And Phil, how many viewings are you in?
Second viewing will be on Saturday, third on Sunday. I've only just seen it the one time on Tuesday.
Nice. Yeah, I'm assuming all of us except for Ryan, of course, saw the IMAX fan event on Tuesday. Honestly, Ryan, like you being here kind of complicates things a teeny bit.
Oh, I don't care. Let's go. We're like I said, we're talking spoilers. So I mean, you know, we've got Clayface in here. Let's do this.
No, I gotta find a good clip. I'm not as able to do this.
What in the hell was that all about?
But yes,
there's a lot of Easter eggs in this thing. We're gonna break them all down.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
You don't care?
You're actually right about that. There are quite a few Easter eggs in the movie.
Yeah, there are.
There
are quite a bit.
90% of the time, I'm right every time.
Okay.
All right. But one cool thing about the fan event was, of course, these. Everybody's seen on social media copies of Long Halloween #1 Batman cover. But I was talking with Phil and Ryan before the show about the fact that I didn't know until yesterday that it was only the AMC theaters that were offering like the Batman cowl popcorn bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to an AMC one, like mad expensive, bro. Like that's not where I saw it the first on Tuesday, but today when me and my wife went and saw it, I looked at it and I was like, it's cool, but that shit was like $35, bro.
$35.
I was like, I was willing if it was at my theater, but I went to a Regal theater and they didn't have those.
It bought like as much popcorn as I eat, a big bucket, like only half that would fit in that cowl. Like if you bought the cowl and full of popcorn, you only get like half of that in there. It's awesome.
I mean, are you really even caring about the popcorn if you're getting the cowl? No, you're not.
You're ordering a large popcorn and the cowl. It's like, bro, just let me have it. Yeah.
I'm just handing over $50 to the movie theater at that point. But I was a little disappointed by that I didn't get the chance to get those because I was telling them also that I looked at the map of where I live and looking at the AMC theaters. I'm like in the middle of this perfect 2-hour wide circle
that's how
on my map where I can't go to an AMC, which kind of ticks me off.
You live in it's a geological oddity, 2 hours from anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I live in the middle of nowhere, essentially. But again, guys, hold on. RJ said, I got my Batman popcorn head bucket. Dude.
Oh, nice.
Yo, did the eyes light up? The one they had on display, the eyes were lit up.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's...
I think they were lenses. Is what they were, to make sure the popcorn didn't come out. But I'm jealous, RJ. Just a little bit. Just a little jealous.
He got his signed. It was signed by Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, yo, chill with the spoilers in the chat, homie.
Yeah,
like,
spoilers,
bro.
Yeah, no spoilers whatsoever. This is a non-spoiler discussion. Absolutely no spoilers whatsoever. People still.
Batman dies,
dude. Of course he does. Yeah, sure. But yes, people, again, this is a spoiler-free live discussion we'll be having today. Absolutely no things about the plot or anything that gives anything away from the movie we discussed today. Just our general thoughts on specific like characters. Like for instance, we'll talk about like Batman himself.
Really true. True to the nth degree. Somebody brought their kid in there today. Literally, the mom. I guess the dad was just like, "Yeah, I ain't missing this. Get him out of here." Mom got up with the kid. They dipped. They didn't come back. So the kid looked like he was about 6.
Yeah.
Mad. Yeah. Well. Not only for the visuals, just because the story, a kid can't. They're sitting there watching like, where's all the punches and kicks, bro? No, this is called what do we call it?
Slow burn.
This is called exposition. Kids like, fuck that, I want punches and kicks. They're like, get them out of here, man. Get them out of here, man.
And they'll start punching and kicking in their seats. So they just cause bad time for everybody.
That opening shot, that opening sequence, that's a hell of a killer. I'd imagine why. That's why the kid probably started.
No, it was almost for me personally. By no means were any moments of this movie slow, but for a kid, it kind of slows down at certain points, and the kids start talking kind of loud, and I was like, "Am I gonna be that dude that's just like, hey man?" But then the mom got up with the kid, they bounced.
Yeah, so, and once again, everybody, no spoilers in the chat, and. If you spoil anything in the chat, just know that we have mods who will make sure to time you out. It's no offense meant, or meant at all. Just don't spoil the movie. Yeah. But to kind of start this off, I'm just going to say that this is a movie that I've been looking forward to for essentially 5 years. Of course, in its different forms. Back when it was Ben Affleck's written, directed, and starred Batman movie. Then when it transitioned slowly to being this movie, I've been excited for this movie for basically half a decade. Again, I'm a massive Batman fan, like you guys are. And so I went into this movie with really high expectations, really high hopes, which the trailers really helped a lot. Real quick, Lewis Cox, 5 pounds.
Hey, much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Lewis.
Grazie.
Grazie. Yes. Super chat clip. So, like I was saying, I had a lot of expectations going into this movie, and I will say I was not disappointed. No. Usually when I go into a movie and I have like really high expectations, more often than not, they're not met, and it can be a little disappointing. That is not the case with this movie, in my own personal opinion. I loved this movie. I'll, of course, talk about the different things that I loved, but my basic consensus is, to me, that this is my favorite solo Batman film of all time now. Of course, I'll solidify that once I see it again and again, make sure that that stays that way. But as of right now, it's at the very top of solo Batman films for me. So that's my general thoughts to start off. Let's go around and get Phil's general thoughts.
Well, I can say with confidence that this is leagues and bounds a better Batman movie than both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, no knock to Nolan at all, whatsoever. But the emphasis on the character of Batman, his mythology, his world, the spirit of the characters was easily more prominent in this film than any of the three that Nolan did. Because his trilogy was largely rooted in telling a story about Bruce Wayne. This is a straight up Batman movie. This is inarguably, in my opinion anyway, like I'm with Dawson. It's hands down like the best solo Batman film ever made.
Yeah. I agree. And Dwayne Jackson, $2 super chat. Much appreciated, my man. And yes, I am out on bail, and it was a $2 bail. And guess what? You just paid that bail. So much appreciated. Good to see you, Dwayne.
Monopoly.
Hope you're doing well. Ryan, you didn't see it, so nobody cares. Anthony...
No. I mean, all the performances were fire. Everyone did a great job. Yes, even him. Let's go. I'm on my 6th viewing, and
you're so not.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, Anthony, since you just come back from your 2nd viewing,
better.
We are.
I thought the movie was absolutely incredible the first time I saw it, and it was better the second time. Everything all around. I will say, I'll say this, and take this how you will. Matt Reeves is a dick for one reason and one reason only, and you probably know what I'm talking about. I kind of sat there, waiting for something, and nothing happened. I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" Had to even laugh at it, but should I say the post-credit scene?
Oh yeah.
What a dick move!
It's not even a scene. It's like
what a dick move, bro. Do that mid-credit so I can bounce, bro. Anyway, let me just bounce, because that shit. Well, I was like, okay, I get what you're doing here.
Basically, we could say this is not a Marvel movie. That's what we could say.
Yeah. Other than that, though, come on, dude. It looked great. VFX. I couldn't even find a scene. Not that the movie's CGI heavy, but normally there's always a scene. They say like that. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. There's always some scenes where you see and you're like, I didn't see anything like that in this one. The story was fire, and I absolutely love it. It's fire, man. I don't know what else to say. It's I kind of went off. I thought I was going to talk for 10 minutes when I did like a little
half hour.
Yeah, a little initial reaction when I got home the other night, and I once I got done, I looked at it, I was like, oh, 25 minutes, shit. But it's great. It's great, man.
Absolutely. Real quick, let's shout out some other super chats, including Droga52 with the Australian $5. And of course, Lewis Cox with another €2 or £2. I can never remember that symbol.
Yeah.
But here you go. All right, so with that, let's get into a little bit more specific spoiler-free discussion. We'll break down some small things here and there, give our general thoughts on it. First and foremost, let's discuss Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman. Because obviously going into this, I'm just going to say this right now. When she was first announced, I haven't seen anything else that Zoe Kravitz is in that I can remember. Actually, no, there was one thing. She was in that X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
And I liked her.
That's right. She is in that.
Yeah, she is,
almost kind of unrecognizable, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I'd really seen with her that I could remember. And so when she's announced as Catwoman, I was like, all right, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know what to think. Look forward to see how she does. I will say that she is by far my favorite live-action Catwoman. Now, to be fair, going into this, I didn't really have a favorite live-action Catwoman. I hadn't liked any of the other ones. Michelle Pfeiffer, like, I know, again, I'm in the minority of this. I didn't like Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. I wasn't a fan of Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. She really didn't do much in The Dark Knight Rises that really warranted any kind of, you know, not appreciation, but warranted any kind of freaking out in a positive way. So I was really looking forward to maybe seeing a Catwoman that I liked watching, and Zoe Kravitz is that Catwoman. You know, she's fantastic. What was that?
This is actually the second time she's played the character of Catwoman. She voiced the character in the Lego Batman movie.
Oh,
that's right. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at her IMDb right now, because you mentioned you hadn't seen her in much anything, and I started to think about, well, what have I seen her in? Then I remembered she's in Mad Max Fury Road. She's in Spider-Man of the Spider-Verse. She's the voice of Mary Jane. She's in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. And also, I guess the first one, too. I don't really remember that.
I haven't seen a single one of the Fantastic Beasts films, so.
She's also in Dope, which was directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
Yeah, Dope was good.
Yeah. And again, you mentioned X-Men First Class, so.
Yeah.
Pretty well-rounded actress, if you ask me.
Yeah, if you really think about it, I mean, she's done a lot of stuff. But I will say, like, Zoe Kravitz personifies the modern Catwoman very, very well. Like in modern comics, how she looks, how she acts, how she operates, very reminiscent of the more modern comics, which worked really well for me because I'm more of a modern comic type of guy. I think she just did a great job. Her suit, of course, being an early on Catwoman suit, will of course improve. My wife even saw like pictures of her and she's like, that suit's not doing her any favors. And I was like, no, that's kind of mean, honey. She's like, well, it's kind of true. It's like, sorry, all right. So hopefully that improves. Again, I like it for an early on suit. But overall, she had a fantastic performance, in my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think she looks just like Catwoman from year one. With the way she's depicted in the movie, she looks exactly like Catwoman looks in she looks exactly like Selena Kyle looks in Miller's Year One book. It's damn near from page to screen perfection.
And she looks almost exactly like how Jim Lee draws Catwoman.
That too, yeah.
Or Selena Kyle, anyway, like you said.
Well, even like her suit that she had, even not the cowl withstanding, but like the whole bottom piece, her nails, that was just, it's Catwoman. Straight up from the comics.
And that's one problem I had with Anne Hathaway's, costume or whatever you want to call it.
Outfit.
It didn't resonate for me. As Catwoman. It was goggles that flipped up and they had
they looked goofy.
Yeah, and I was like, I okay, that's Catwoman if you say so.
Yeah, and they never did. That's
they never did.
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, I think that was that being the third of Nolan's trilogy. That I think every time I go back and think about that, the way he did Selena Kyle that's like a I don't know. That's like a Nolan thing. It's like with his Batman trilogy. That's why I like this one so much more than either of those three movies. Is because bro. Matt Reeves literally was like, let's be realistic, but let's also know this is a comic book character. You know what I'm saying? Like this is pretty much, I'm not gonna say a fantasy world, but you know what I'm saying? And I think Nolan took it a little bit too literal with the realism. Yeah. And that's cool because I still like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I still can watch those movies and enjoy them. Yeah. But like this one it was almost like the evolution of the realistic Batman to one.
It's a perfect marriage of comic book-esque and real world grounded.
Yeah.
So do you think that the universe that Matt Reeves created lends itself or opens itself to other characters being alive or, in different parts of the world?
Like, do you
or
mean
is it too grounded to where like Superman just makes no sense or
no?
It's not too grounded, but I hope they don't have those characters. I hope this stays isolated and stays its own thing, because I feel like that's where it'll thrive. Just focusing on Gotham City and these characters and the Dark Knight's Rogues Gallery and all of that. One other thing I will say about Zoe Kravitz is there's a lot of things going around about Catwoman being like race swapped or whatever. I don't care. I do not
get out of here.
Dumbest.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
get
fucking
out of here.
stupidest argument I've seen.
Yeah,
all damn day.
Like,
also,
honestly,
the very first live action Catwoman, Eartha Kitt, literally.
She was the second. She was the second.
She was the second. Who was the first?
Yes.
There were three actually for the.
No, you're right.
There was Lee Merriweather, Julie Newmar, and of course
Julie Newmar. Yes, and Julie Newmar. I think she was very short-lived. I think she only did like a season.
One of them
or
did
not even
the
a
movie.
Season. They only had 2 seasons.
One of them was for sure in the movie, but not.
But Eartha Kitt is the one that rounded it off. She was the last Catwoman.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying,
no,
like,
I mean you're right. You know, she was Catwoman.
Zoe Kravitz, her performance was great.
Yeah.
And it's like same thing with like, of course, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Jim Gordon. Like the actors portrayed the roles well. They were perfect for the role, and they were convincing as those characters.
Well, I think you just mentioned Jim Gordon, and he was played by Jeffrey Wright in this movie. When Jeffrey Wright was cast as Gordon in this movie, I was like, let's fucking go. Like that dude can act. That dude is one of the best actors in the zeitgeist right now. He in Westworld. Oh my god, dude! Like when he got cast, I was like, yes, him as Gordon.
I'd only seen him in Mission Impossible. The Bond.
Bond.
Yeah,
right.
and he did a fantastic job in Bond. All of them.
Yeah. And like,
you want to
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, if you guys really want to see him do some range, watch a movie called OG on HBO Max. Plays an OG gangster in prison. It's pretty sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And again, with Zoe Kravitz and Jeffrey Wright, like every now and then, yes, you'll find like a race swap thing where someone has a political idea behind it, but this one was not that. This was all about the talent, all about the capability of the actors, all about the great portrayal of those iconic characters, and like it worked very well for me. So absolutely no issues whatsoever with Zoe Kravitz Catwoman in any way, shape, or form. Just honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better performance from her. Honestly, there's nothing I would say that could have been better from her.
Yeah, no, she was fantastic.
She was great.
Yeah, she was
absolute fire.
And my wife actually mentioned that there are moments in this movie, again with no spoilers, where Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson nailed the sexual tension between Batman and Catwoman without going overboard.
Yes, 1,000 times. I'm sure you were.
Okay.
Watching that trailer on repeat, I bet.
Yeah.
The Watcher. Yes, he was the Watcher.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
He's also got a fire voice that lends itself to doing things like that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But like with a lot of other love interests of like superhero films, you'll find that it's a little over the top. Like for instance, Dr. Chase Meridian from Batman Forever, the most over the top he could possibly be, like throwing herself at him, showing him her cleavage, and like throwing her arms around him. This is not that. Like there's tension, but it's not over the top, and it's natural. It's organic.
Bring your scarred psyche.
Are you trying to get under my cape, Doctor?
That signal is not a beeper.
Oh my god.
He's like,
oh man.
I'm sure
their tension was great. Their chemistry was great. And what's great is you can see their friendship and relationship have possible progression. There's room to grow.
It blossoms
but
well, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
What up,
and the same thing with Batman and Jim Gordon. Like honestly, Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon and Batman have such a great chemistry. Dude,
he's about to watch it for the second time.
He
says,
there you go.
No. What? Relax.
This isn't Infinity War. All right.
But
let's talk about Jim Gordon a little bit. He is very involved in this movie, kind of on the same level as, of course, Jim Gordon was in the Dark Knight trilogy. Very involved, very much working with Batman. You can see this chemistry there, and they've been working together for a while.
I don't really know if this is a spoiler, but he mostly is like the only cop that works with Batman.
Yeah, and I like that.
Bro,
same.
And I said this on my the involvement with the GC. I was surprised at how involved, bro. Some of those scenes, I was just like, damn, dude. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. He comes into certain areas and there's just cops all over the place, and it's just like, bro, like this is intense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the cops don't like it. The only person who does is absolutely Jim. So you know, it's that shit was good. Like that shit surprised me, and I was like, "That's fire." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just the overall interaction and the way things were going,
opposed to like Christian Bale being in that in the vault. And then he disappears. And it's like, how the fuck did he disappear with all the cops everywhere?
Yeah, he's like running really fast. Like, oh my gosh, gotta go to the bathroom. But no, like Anthony, like you said, Batman was very involved in the police work, and that's the big thing. Detective movies. That's what this was.
So good, man.
And Jim Gordon was a big part of that. He was very involved in most steps of the detective and crime-solving process, including like the first thing that they figure out together, which was actually kind of hilarious.
What's that?
The first like clue that they discovered together.
Oh yeah. It is. That was that's another thing, man. Yo, the humor in this movie, fire, dude. There was like these low-key jokes all throughout the movie, and the audience wasn't really that perceptive to it today. But Tuesday, when it was literally just full of straight comic book nerds, because it's a fan event.
Yeah,
bro, they were laughing, and it was like jokes that weren't forced at all.
No,
none of them.
Very subtle.
Gordon and Batman walk into this one spot, and Batman says something to him, and Gordon comes back with like, "Nah, bro, that's your thing." That shit was so funny, dude. Like I chuckled at that shit. The humor in this movie was so like
natural.
Subtle.
Yes, it was natural. Nothing forced. It was really like it just happened. You were just like, that's fun. Like nothing, belly laughs. You ain't in there fucking rolling over. It's not the hangover and shit. But it was like, that was good. That was good. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And Jim, I felt like in many scenes represented how a normal person would react in that situation. Like there are many times where he was, something would happen and he'd react to it very similarly to how we would act if we were in that situation. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And I love that. Again, he was very much a human character, which is obvious because he's obviously human, but human in the sense of like reacting in a way that makes sense. You know what I mean? And so I loved his Gordon. I think there is a specific scene, especially. It's kind of seen in one of the clips that were shown, but I'm not going to like say what it is, where they had this conversation, and the way that it's pulled off is just hilarious to me. Because it's supposed to be like a serious moment, or it's supposed to look like a serious moment.
Yeah.
And it ends up being kind of funny, just the way they actually end up talking to each other.
Ryan knows what we're talking about. He knows. We talked about it before. It's the one clip they put out there.
Oh yeah. I was like,
it's fully remember we were all wondering why it went down the way it did. It's fully explained.
It makes a lot of sense.
Are they about to kiss?
Yeah, they fully explained it before that scene.
I'm so glad for that then, because I was like, what a weird way to sort of like present that to your audience.
When I was watching it the first time, I smiled at that because I know we talked about it on the show where it was such a weird thing, but I was hoping they would, and they did. They fully explained the entire thing, so you're just like, okay, I got you now. I got you now. Yeah.
Okay.
What? The GCPD show was canceled.
Anthony's probably trolling us. He might be.
It's the trash man.
But Dennis has a good point. I'm really excited for the GCPD show after this. I'm really excited to see how that goes, just because it leaves off in such an interesting place in this movie, to where you realize, okay, there's a lot of stuff they can explore. But yeah, so Phil, what were some of your thoughts on Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon?
Oh, I thought he was spectacular. I mean, their whole dynamic was, I don't know who said it. Someone from production essentially equated it to Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and that's very much the kind of vibe I got.
That's a really good one.
That's the vibe I got from Jeffrey Wright's Gordon, as obviously as Gordon. I don't know why I keep saying that, but like, I don't know. I had absolutely zero issue with anyone who was cast in this movie. I thought the cast did an excellent job, no matter who you're talking about. And as far as Jeffrey Wright as Gordon goes, like, I can't wait to see what happens to him next, especially after the events of this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I'm sure we won't dive too deep into, but Anthony, Dawson, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely 100%. I think
1000%. And you know what? I don't see him more like a Sherlock Holmes and Watson. I saw him like a Turner and Hooch.
Relax.
Goodness gracious.
Which is fire. That movie's fire.
That's fire.
If you have never seen Turner and Hooch, that shit's good. It's about 20-something years old, but it's absolutely great.
So let's discuss the villains that are featured in this movie. Of course, You have Carmine Falcone and the Penguin, right?
Yeah.
And again, I will always say this every single time he's brought up, but the transformation of Colin Farrell into the Penguin is jaw-dropping.
Yes.
You don't recognize him one bit. In fact, I was telling my wife about how crazy it is, how he looks in the movie. And then there was a little clip that plays at the beginning of the IMAX showing, and it shows him. And my wife's like, what the? That's not him. I was like, that's him. That is the guy. So if this movie doesn't win any awards for makeup, there is something seriously wrong.
Yeah. No, he looks great. Both of them, John Turturro, come on, man. That dude put the pants on for this one. Like that, especially there's a certain scene. There's a certain scene between him and Bruce Wayne that takes place at Falcone's place, and it is absolutely riveting and fire and tense. And I was just like, damn, dude, Turturro's fire. Like, I already knew he was, but like I hadn't seen him in anything really recently. You know what I'm saying? To where he had that level of. I think the last time I saw him on that level was like the Big Lebowski and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's been a minute, man. But no, he was, dude. And obviously the Penguin was. He's everything I thought it was going to be. It was great.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell's a great actor. The prosthetics didn't hinder his performance at all. I didn't feel in any kind of way. So I think, the villains were good. I also like, they mentioned Maroni and didn't really see him. I like that too. Like, what I'm saying? Like when they met, like, you know what I'm talking about when that thing's going on or whatever. But no, it's. I talk about.
I know Maroni. I thought in the Gotham TV show when they killed him, I thought that was the stupidest idea.
Probably.
Yeah, but
they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah, that was really dumb. But one thing
that
with
show's kind of nothing short of dumb. So
sure.
Yeah, I enjoy some things, but it's a lot of dumb stuff. But John Turturro's Falcone, I love the fact that, and this is not spoiling anything of the story, but they reference a lot of stuff from The Long Halloween, which of course is mentioned in the lead up to this movie.
Honestly, if you've read The Long Halloween, you'll see this movie. Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up.
I mean, it's not beat for beat, but like it.
Damn near.
You already got me.
Yeah, it matches the vibe very well. Does a great job of replicating that feel of that story.
It's funny because
that's an indication of a certain thing that happens in the movie too. Funny enough, but I'm not going to mention it.
It was funny because it was funny because when that thing happens, I was like, wait a minute, where have I? Oh, yes. Yeah,
a lot of great references in this movie. But of course, the main bad guy, Paul Dano's the Riddler.
Yes.
I freaking loved him. I was very excited about the fact that they weren't going the whole, look, I love classic Riddler, bowler hat, cane, and all that. That's all fun and good. But in this world that they established in the Batman, that wasn't going to work. So I love what they did. I love the Zodiac Killer approach. I love how, when he's first introduced in the movie, I love how terrifying he is.
Bro.
And you'll see when you see the movie, people, if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
His introduction is perfect for the mood they're going for the tone they're going for, and the type of Riddler that they want to achieve here. It was a perfect introduction. And Paul Dano plays a perfectly unhinged villain. Creepy and off-putting, and they did something with him. Obsessed, yes. And they did something with him as far as like modernizing the character that I wasn't expecting. Like, obviously I knew about the whole Zodiac Killer approach, but there were some other things they do with him that I was like, oh, this makes sense. This works. So praise in the world. He's a huge
coffee drinker.
Of course.
This is absolutely insane. Bro, there's a bunch here, and if you haven't seen it yet, just know that dude he's insane. The Riddler is fucking absolutely. He's
why he ends up in Arkham.
There's a
he's
point.
Beautifully insane is what I would say. It's such a good thing to see on the screen, but I'm also like, yo, this dude's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah.
There's one scene in particular with Dano as the Riddler, and the way that the scene works is like, if you've seen the funeral clip. This kind of leads into that, and like the way he handles that entire situation from a phone, the way he gives a performance through a phone is nothing short of terrifying. because he's just unhinged. He's not, I wouldn't even say over the top, but he is just wild
and maniacal.
Maniacal, yes. And the way that he gets away, and it's so spiritually connective to who the Riddler is, that I sat there, jaw dropped, terrified but excited all at the same time, because I'm seeing my favorite Batman villain get the due diligence and respect I've been wanting anyway for like the last 25 years.
No, absolutely.
Did he say joygasm?
Oh, no. Yeah, sure. But to answer Paul Smith's question here, this is pretty much contained. There's slight mentions to some things, but nothing that expands it too far out of Batman's realm.
There's a fun one. I'll say that.
There's a fun one.
There's a fun nod. I'll say that.
There is a fun nod. But like I was hoping, this is going to be contained. And honestly, like, this is the main DC universe I'm going to be following, the Batverse.
I mean, unless Warner Brothers, steps in and says, hey, we want to connect, some other things.
I hope not.
That's where that's where we'll see how big Matt Reeves' cojones are.
Yes.
Because if his plan is to keep this contained, if this movie's successful, Warner Brothers is literally going to step in there like, yo, what about adding blah blah blah? And if he's got the big cojones, he's gonna be like, no. And you'll see his true shit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time when Reeves got to, or not Reeves, but when Nolan got to do his, there was no MCU to fucking try to copy. So he was able to like, yo, I'm doing Batman Begins, and then I'm gonna do The Dark Knight, and I'm not making it connect to any kind of Superman or nothing. And then Warner Bros. Couldn't say shit, because why couldn't they? There was nothing else opposing them. They could, yes, do it. Batman Begins was successful, do it. And obviously The Dark Knight made $1 billion, bro. But then the MCU come in, and then The Dark Knight Rises.
So do you guys think it's gonna make 80 million?
80 million?
No. But
it's gonna make
oh wait, 80 million. No, sorry.
Yeah, 80 million? Yes.
I said billion.
This weekend.
Sorry, I thought I said billion for some reason.
It's tracking for like 225.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I heard some things. Andre mentioned some things about 80 million being the target or some shit, and I was just like, guys, do you think it's gonna make it? So we don't know.
80 million being the target for what?
The weekend? or the full gross? Like
no, for the weekend.
Yeah, but no, this is very much a self-contained thing, and I hope it stays that way. Like Anthony was saying, I hope Warner Brothers doesn't like come in and say like, oh hey, let's. The last thing that I want is for them to try to connect anything from the CW to this. Anything.
Why would they?
Yeah.
Well, there's people saying like,
Gustin is soon to appear.
Well, people are saying like, oh, we'll tie in Tyler Hoechlin's Superman to Robert Pattinson's Batman. I'm like, no, knock that off right now. No, not at all. Just keep this thing self-contained, and that'll be for its benefit. That'll be the best thing about it, honestly. So yes, Riddler was fantastic. Paul Dano was great, absolutely phenomenal. Now, the big point of discussion, of course, in this movie is, of course, Batman. Robert Pattinson. Funny little story about this. So when he was first announced as Batman, I remember distinctly. I was sitting in my car. I think I was tired. I can't remember what exactly went down, but my wife was driving, and so I was in the passenger seat, just looking at my phone, and that article came up saying, "Oh, Robert Pattinson's announced as Batman." And at that specific point, I hadn't seen anything of Robert Pattinson since Twilight and the Harry Potter movie he was in. So I sat there like, "Huh." I don't know how to feel right now. Of course, because again, I'm a huge Batfleck fan, like we all are.
Yeah.
And so I was disappointed, but also was just like, what the heck is going on here? But I will gladly admit that my first reaction to that casting was wrong. I will gladly admit that any doubt that I had about him being Batman was misplaced. His Batman was phenomenal. It worked for that world. I think he did a phenomenal job with just every aspect of the character that he was given. And I can easily say he's in my top 2 live-action Batman actors.
Oh, he's tied for Batfleck with me, honestly.
Yeah. I'd say that about...
He's like they're neck and neck for favorite for me.
He's Clooney good.
No. I don't know why you think Clooney's good, but hey.
I'd have to...
Because he's the only one with a Batman credit
Is it because he looks like you? Just Just admit it. It's because he kind of looks like you, right?
No.
You
Every
can see
white
yourself
guy,
in that
every
story.
white guy looks like Ryan.
You said
that's actually not true.
I don't look like Ryan. What the shit?
Yeah, no, that's not.
Neither do you.
I'm mocking
So
his logic. I'm mocking his logic.
No, that's not my logic. That's not my
sure.
logic.
All right, sure. But no, like this Batman, like you said, he's tied with Batfleck for me. I feel like I need to see the Batman a couple more times to see if like he's either better or just a little bit below Batfleck. But at the same time, their Batman are very different styles. But Rob Pattinson's Batman is definitely made his spot in Batman cinematic history.
Made it in the conversation of contender for best Batman, I think. Definitely.
Yes.
Because like when I look at all the different live action Batman, it's very easy for me to be like, okay, well, Clooney's down there. Michael Keaton's probably down there too for me. It really kind of just boils down for me between like, Ben Affleck, Bale, Kilmer, and now Pattinson. Like those are the four that I kind of look at and go, okay, you all brought something vastly different to the character, but did something unique with it at the same time. But also, like, I think Paul's asking who would win in a fight between Affleck and Pattinson. I'm just like, I don't even want to entertain that. No offense, Paul, but because like I think they both do a really fantastic job of embodying different versions of the character. Yeah.
Well,
they would knock each other out.
No. I still think Affleck would win in a physical fight.
Yeah, he's a bigger. I think he would, but I also think
it would almost too. It would 20 years into his job.
Yeah, 20 years into it. Yeah, and what's the name? 2 years. Yeah.
But like, I guess going back to what I said about Pattinson. After I finally saw his stuff in Good Time, when I saw him in
fabulous movie, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell All the Time, I believe, is the one it's called.
The Devil All the Time.
And The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is what convinced me this guy could work, and I was very, very excited for that. And he did it again. Fantastic job.
What? Was she in the movie? What
Skywalker. I haven't seen her win. I mean, that's all she does is win. Win every day.
But Pattinson's performance, his voice, even his suit, it's really grown on me. It works for him. His gadgets, I love how he uses one specific gadget a couple different times in the movie, where like how he draws it and how he uses it and all of that. I loved that.
Go gadget grappling hook.
I loved his detective vision. His
the contacts,
badass.
And that's not a spoiler because they show that in the clip and shit.
And it makes sense.
Are they prescription?
Sure.
Prescribed by Alfred, man. Yes.
It makes sense as to why Batman would remember so many different things about a crime scene because the contact lenses. It makes sense, right? And he uses his gadgets so well in this movie. So well. But at the same time, there are moments where there's room to grow in using what he has. Which is what I love about it, because like again, great gadgets, but still room to improve and room to build upon what he has.
Yeah, I'd say besides because when we first saw Batman in BVS and Zack's Batman, like there were some advancements made to the suit that I absolutely love. First off, the cowl was bulletproof, the bulletproof gauntlets, all of that shit, and you saw it used in the movie. Dude comes up behind him and pop to the back of the dome. And all of that stuff was fire. And the voice modulator, dope, dude. We were all like, yo, because the last Batman we had seen was this? Where's the trigger? Yeah, so we were just like,
Suffering succotash. Has anybody seen my cowl?
Helicopter.
That's the reason. That's why it's so funny.
When we all first heard the modulator, I'm sure it was the same with you guys. It's that's dope, dude. Like that's like, so he doesn't have to do anything, just talk through a thing. And it was cool. And so with this one, man, I tell you, man, the suit was fucking fire. Like one of the most functional suits I've seen, like in motion. Just because obviously we saw in the trailers bulletproof shit here. We saw. This is not a spoiler. We saw how the grappling hook comes out in that one clip. So that shit was cool. Like I love that it doesn't have to be something he has to pull off of his waist to use. He could just, and use that shit and just fly the fuck off. It was great. As far as his performance, it's fire. When he got cast, for me personally, I was just like, I'd not seen all the Twilight movies. I'd seen everything else he was in. I knew he was a phenomenal actor, and it's the same response I think I had when they cast Ben Affleck. It's just, you remember that wasn't me. I was like, oh, okay.
I was one of the few that liked it because, I was like, now he gets to sort of redeem himself from Daredevil, and I like Ben. I was never against Ben being Batman, and I love I love the outfit. I was like, and that was and that's still one of the things that I give Zach over all these other directors, even Matt Reeves, is that he actually brought us a sort of a black cowl, gray suit. Batman just physically imposing.
First time I saw that shit, I was like,
I was like, finally, thank you, because we'd had Keaton all black, we'd had Kilmer same thing, even more black, and then they carried over with
Bale.
And then Bale again all black.
All black.
I mean, he had a belt, the sort of a silver or brass belt or whatever, but I mean, mostly it was a bigger bat, but it was again all black, and I was like, finally we get some a layered palette, and then again, to go back to either I guess it's a gunmetal gray for Pattinson, but I was like, all right, well, it works for like that universe, I guess, but I've always liked the way Batman looks in the comics.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. I do like the fact that Pattinson's bat suit looks a lot like Lee Bermejo's Batman design. As far as the armor is laid. And I like the fact that Pattinson's Batman suit is like a really dark, almost like tannish gray, and then black.
Yeah.
And that really worked for me. Quick question from Kaylee saying, what was the combat like, and do you think BVS Warehouse combat style would fit in this version of Batman? Combat was good. It was grounded.
Yeah. But
it wasn't the whole stiff crap like Bale had.
Yeah.
No, he said, so the combat was fire, but I think this is really cool. Just now thinking about this because of this question. The combat in the warehouse is the evolution of Robert Pattinson's combat 20 years later. Yeah. So if Pattinson started off the way he did, which was brutal as fuck, but then he added a little bit of savvy to it because what I'm saying? He has some finesse to it. 20 years later, that's the warehouse scene. Yeah. Because
Well, like even in this movie, you watch him throw down with a bunch of people. He's taking hits. He's not quite as adept as Affleck was, but even still, he takes the hit and he just turns around and gives it right back. Like in the Iceberg Lounge, like we've seen clips of it, but to see the full fight in the Iceberg Lounge, holy shit!
And I love the fact that yes, he takes some hits, but at the end of the day, he's still the dominant fighter. Which is something that was, in my opinion, missing from the Dark Knight trilogy. Is sometimes you just kind of get the crap beat out of him, sort of, and it will look like he's just losing the fight, even though he's highly trained and he's freaking Batman. Pattinson is not that. He, like you said, Phil, he takes hits, but he delivers the blows that he needs to, and he's very brutal. And I love the different shots where he like gets shot in his suit, and like he of course reacts, but he goes right back with a fury, and it just really worked for me. That combat was really, really good. Of course, that wasn't the focus of the movie. The focus was the detective work, which we've never had a Batman movie so focused on the detective side of Batman before.
Bingo.
And I loved it. It worked so well. That's what made it feel fresh, right? Because I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's just another Batman movie. And yes, other Batman movies tend to be more action-based, a little bit of detective work here and there. This one's like detective noir, figuring out a mystery, and that's what makes it feel so fresh.
Agreed. You know, it's funny. I remember when Pattinson got cast, and leading up to that, everyone thought they had the skinny on. Oh, it's going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson. Oh no, it's going to be Armie Hammer. And it's like, y'all ain't got shit. Shut up. And then it came down like there was like a small short list, and it was like allegedly like Aaron Taylor Johnson, Nicholas Hoult, and Robert Pattinson. I remember seeing that list going, you know, of all these guys, I could really give a crap about Aaron Taylor Johnson because he's already Quicksilver and he's going to be Kraven.
And he was also Kick-Ass.
Thank you. That's right. Nicholas Hoult was Beast, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't see you in a Batman cowl. I was like, honestly, if any one of these guys is unhinged enough to be Batman, it's Robert Pattinson. And sure enough, he got cast, and I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, and it also didn't hurt that when those talks were happening and you started seeing that stuff floating around social media, people were throwing out that picture of Pattinson in the limo where he's just like looking like Bruce Wayne. You're just like, it looks like Bruce Wayne right there. That's it. When he got, I was just like, okay, we'll wait and see. Like, I've never been up in arms about a casting. I don't think, like, because what they're able to do these days, especially making movies or television shows with an actor, is they can, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't even really think of one that in the past probably 10 years that they announced that I was just like, oh, what the fuck? And then, you know what I'm saying, because you wait and see for the performance and it turns out to be pretty fucking fire on, you know, on screen or whatever. So.
And this question from Paul, do they actually pull back and show the action? Yes, they do pull back and show the action, not from too far away, but enough to like see the more full scale of the fight.
Right. I agree with him about Nolan. You know, he tried that, like, you know, in the fight sort of, you know, cinematography and quick cuts here and there to sort of.
And it's a cool idea, but
it's a cool idea. It just didn't work for, like, you can do it for a little bit, but then pull back and let us see.
Yeah.
You know?
But you could also make the sentiment that was also that trilogy as a whole was his first foray into doing anything action based.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his filmography is largely thrillerish, largely narratively driven, not too much action at all. So.
Yeah.
And that showed in the
It did. It showed.
the end of The Dark Knight Rises, get out of here.
Yeah.
and the snow, him and Bane out in the fight, and
what was it like? Gangs of New York or something?
You can literally see the people behind them just like.
Yeah.
It was so bad, dude. I was like, man, this is terrible.
What's funny is like the focus on Bane and Batman, like their fight, that's great. But to Anthony's point, like everything behind it, you can just see him going.
He says he stopped questioning casting too much after. Yo, I stopped questioning casting after Michael Keaton. They were, who, Mr. Mom? Oh, what the fuck? And he was
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, did you talk about Beetlejuice's Batman? And guess what happened?
He did a good job.
He did a fucking great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was a kid at that time too. So that's you never know, man. You never know.
But I wanna talk about another character, quote unquote, of this movie.
Let's go.
No, that this movie had, and that's the character of Gotham City.
Yeah.
Gotham City, in my opinion, up to this point in a solo Batman film, has not been done the due justice. Like Tim Burton kind of got there as far as he could with the technology and capabilities they had at the time. And then the Dark Knight trilogy didn't really even try to capture like an actual
no, Batman Begins did.
Somewhat with the
Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises was just like, screw it, we're in Chicago.
Yeah. Batman Begins did get a little close, but the Batman does the best Gotham City that I have seen in a Batman movie in my entire life. Now, like I was telling Phil this before the show, like Batman v Superman, we didn't see enough of Gotham to really make an assessment, like is it good or not. We didn't spend enough time there. But the Batman has the best Gotham City, in my own personal opinion. From the clubs that I guess the club that Falcone runs just looks great, industrial. From inside Wayne Tower, the Gothic aesthetic of it all, like the fact they filmed in Glasgow and all the different Gothic architecture works so well for this movie. And it's so moody and it's dirty and it's of course it's just a noir feel and it's just Gotham.
I think it's going to be the same or similar with the Flash because they're still in Glasgow filming. I mean, not the Flash. Well, maybe the Flash, but Batgirl. I think it's going to really lend itself to that as well. Sort of like Glasgow is going to be the new Chicago. It's like that's the new Gotham.
Yeah. And it worked so well for me. Everything about Gotham City just worked really well. Like you've seen some in the clips, but like when Bruce and Alfred have conversations, the architecture in the building they're in is just I love it. It's almost over the top Gothic architecture, but it works because it's Gotham.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. When you're talking about like, you're right, Ryan. When you had the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, bro, they was like, yo, that's not. It's when Batman Begins, bro. They had the Narrows and shit. That shit was fire.
Yeah. I mean, like in those two, you could see like, oh, okay, that's that bridge in Chicago. Oh, there's that building, and you know, it was just like, okay, you know, nothing special, nothing otherworldly.
Because with Batman Begins, they built the fucking train thing. That whole system that went through Gotham, and that shit was fire. But with this one, with the Batman, I did like it. Like I said, filming the glass. Hopefully, they don't get too familiar with filming over there, because then it starts to look like, you know what I'm saying? Like starts to be like, unless it's in the same universe, if they're going to try to do that, then it's cool for those landmarks to be looking the same. But no, I liked it. I like Gotham, man. It was good. I like the way they did Iceberg Lounge. That shit was
Yeah.
Fucking fire. But and the way they moved in and out of it too, it was really cool. So yeah, I was a fan of this Gotham. I think the only one what Tim Burton introduced in Batman '89 was cool. I remember being a kid, I didn't really feel for it that much because I was like, yo, why don't they drive in modern cars, bro? Like it seemed like it was set in the 40s. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, I'm like, yo, it's set in the 40s and 50s or some shit. Like I don't, but I can appreciate it more watching it later on. This one had like a perfect combination, I think, of that one. What Nolan did with Batman Begins, and then what obviously Reeves brought a fresh take to it. So all of those, combining those together, I think this was a good one.
Yeah, no, and absolutely.
And brought a lot of rain.
A lot of rain. Which
a lot of rain
for a noir detective movie. Like, honestly, the way that Gotham felt aesthetically, it felt like a Batman DC Black Label story because of how serious of a tone it was, the kind of darker visual tones that it had here and there, the rain. It just, honestly, it had a lot of vibes to Batman Damned and the visual aesthetics of that in that Gotham City, which, of course, was one of the inspirations for the movie and one of the things that Pattinson read a lot of and was actually one of his favorite ones to read when he was preparing for the role. But when you're talking about Batman, Gotham City is a character in the comics, in the movies, in the TV shows. It's a character you have to get right, and the Batman absolutely does that.
I don't disagree.
Well, I should surely hope not.
Of course not, so. No. I mean, I think Gotham City in this movie looks nothing short of immaculate. I mean, the atmosphere of every piece you saw outside when they were in the scene. And that's kind of the point I was bringing back to when we were talking about Batman. Like, this is a straight up Batman movie. You see Batman majorly on the streets of Gotham, not even in the cave a whole ton, but even when he is in the cave, it's awesome. But just the entire feel that you get from the city this time around in this movie is a lot more abundant than in prior incarnations.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But one more thing I want to discuss is a character we forgot to mention before leading up to Batman, and that is Alfred Pennyworth, played by Andy Serkis. Now, for those of you out there, Alfred doesn't get a ton of screen time. He's not the focus of the movie. But, of course, it's Andy Serkis. The amount of screen time he does get, in my opinion, he does a good enough job. Obviously, there's room to grow with that relationship between Bruce Wayne and Alfred and that dynamic and how that works. But I think he did enough. He wasn't given enough to really, like, wow anybody. But he was given enough to solidify him as a good Alfred.
As a good, right.
Yeah. Especially, and I think it probably, I'm pretty sure we could all agree our favorite scene with him in the movie was towards the end. It was at the end.
Yeah.
That particular scene between him and Bruce was fire. And and I'm sure, hopefully we get more of Matt Reeves's, what?
Alfred's performance, fire. Yeah. Let's say that.
Yeah, it was. I hope we, obviously we all hope we see more from this universe, obviously. But I think what some of the groundwork that they laid between those two characters, between Bruce and Alfred, like that shit can be built upon in some more stuff. Because like Dawson was saying, not on screen a bunch, but some of the interaction between them, I was like, oh shit, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Very Arkham Origins in terms of tonality.
Yeah.
Very, not quite contentious, but very just like, you should be doing something else with your time, young man. And Bruce is just like, no,
Make
me. Right?
But I think Anthony just honestly summarized this Batman movie very well in the sense that this movie is a great start to a Batman universe. But it's very enjoyable, but there's also room to grow, and that's what excites me. This Batman and this Bruce Wayne have room to grow. The relationship between Bruce and Alfred has room to grow. The villains have room to grow. Like the Penguin, I'm actually very excited for his show now. I remember being kind of annoyed that they announced it so early, but I'm very excited for his show now and what they do as far as building up this character. He was just so good. Like again, there's just so much room to grow with this Batman, and that's what makes it all the more exciting for me.
I can't disagree. Honestly, I think I just saw an article somewhere stating that another spinoff might be revolving around Arkham Asylum. So
Interesting. There was also talks of a Catwoman series too, which I'd be down to see that because they leave it off at a very good note for that to be a possibility.
Remember when she said she might be going? I was like,
oh yeah.
Yes. I was like, that's just fire, dude.
Again, because that'd be a perfect premise for a show.
That right there in and of itself is even like it's an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Because it hints at a very notorious character in Batman's mythology to some extent or another, which makes me think, oh, I can't say it because it might be a little too much.
Don't say it.
You know what? I'll say it. I'll say it in the private chat. You guys will get it.
There you go. So but Integrity, Kravitz, any day over Hathaway.
Oh yeah.
No offense to Anne Hathaway as an actress, but Kravitz is Catwoman over Hathaway any day. In my personal opinion,
I'll have to go with Kravitz because Hathaway just wasn't Catwoman.
The Batman Returns, please no.
The Batman Returns. There you go.
The Batman Forever.
Ooh, let's go.
Hey man, possible, bro. I
probably just do the Batman 2. Honestly,
I think
that's lazy.
No, I think considering, especially when you look at the Planet of the Apes trilogy, I know Reeves only did the second two, but he came up with some pretty good names for those movies. So I think if sequels, Reeves would go with the Batman, and then he throws something. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be
Batman again.
No. There you go. Okay, that's locked in. That's my favorite.
No, I would say he throws something under, just like Batman: The Long Halloween. Like he's going to put a title. It's going to be like the Batman. It's going to be something along those lines of whatever story he's trying to tell. That's going to sound and look cool as shit on my.
The Batman Home Run.
What?
The Batman: Dark Knight. The Batman: Dark Knight.
Well, I don't want a movie about his colon. The hell?
It's a very short movie.
Have you had your medicine?
Very short movie.
Dawn of the Batman. That's not bad.
Dawn of the Batman. There you go.
All right.
Jamie has an important question for Zeeverfett here.
Yo.
Has Ryan changed his mind? Is he going to still wait and watch it on streaming?
Go see it now after we get off.
I mean, look, I'm fine with like seeing it when I don't care. I mean, good. I know it's a good movie, and I know it's these guys like it, and that's great. It's not. I'm not like, oh my god, I've heard you guys, and now I've got to go run out. I'm fine.
Should trust our judgment.
That's dumb. You're dumb.
I mean, the thing is like I don't have that desire that just makes me okay. I've got to go buy my ticket right now because three guys are.
Let's check back in with Ryan.
Huh?
Let's check back in with Ryan in July when Black Adam comes out. I'm sure he'll be a lot more giddy with that film.
Bro,
I haven't seen him yet. I want to. That's new. That's new. That's a new frontier for me. So right. I like new ground. This is retread. And the good thing about this one, and it really does lend credit to or give it to Matt Reeves, is because all these iterations of Batman have come out. So it's like he can come up with something new and fresh and interesting that you haven't seen of that particular character. That can because he had Batman to build upon. We don't have Black Adam to build upon.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Real quick, Integrity asks, is the BVS warehouse scene still the coolest live action bat fight scene? I mean, that's not to say that the action in this movie is not great, but I mean, warehouse scenes will be very hard.
But like you guys said before, if this movie here is not action oriented,
right?
It's got action in it, but it's not. Action. The focus isn't action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like it. I feel like the next, I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, yo, man, go ahead and make another. So I'm sure they're going to take it up a notch. They're going to take it up a notch. You're going to, because I mean. I don't know what the time jump would be. If the next one comes out and it's like year 3,
5 years,
at least 5 year jump between this one and what I'm saying, because I don't want year 3 Batman. Come on, man. There's hardly a change, and Also, real quick, the shit that Selena was saying.
Order.
What Selena was saying to him at the end of it, I was just like. Also, there's a comment about scars he makes at the end that I was just like, fucking blow me away. You know what I'm talking about? Like right there at the end. Like I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it's really a top 5 live action Bat villain.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's up there with Heath Ledger's Joker.
He's up there with Ledger's Joker. He's up there with Michael Shannon's General Zod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's up there with
diabolical.
Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Diabolical, man. Diabolical.
Absolutely fantastic, and definitely joins a great company of rogues gallery.
It's a good example of comic book villain who's a psycho. It's not over the top. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it fits perfectly in there. Sometimes it's great. Penguin the show.
The only thing about this movie that I will criticize is some small moments here and there where, in my opinion, maybe the camera lingers just a teeny bit too long. The first shot of the film specifically, I felt like lingered a teeny bit too long. And I was kind of sitting there like, what is going on here? Like, I knew what was going on, but I felt like it lingered a little too long. Just simple, like, filmmaking stuff like that. Like, nothing really with the story or the characters. Just some technical things here and there that I changed, that I criticized, but that doesn't dampen the movie at all for me in any way, shape, or form.
The beginning. Let me just tell y'all that.
What was the weakest part of the movie for you guys?
Oh, Phil's got something, but
go ahead, Phil. Because there was nothing I was just sitting there like, and I've seen it twice.
Well, first of all, let me just go ahead and say, to Anthony's point,
so it's a flawless film.
The intro sequence is mind blowing. The second, my least favorite thing in this movie is inarguably some of the. It's not quite the last shot, but it's towards the tail end of the movie. There's something that happens there that I was just like, yeah, I could have done without that. But other than that,
or it could have been done better. One of the two.
That.
Yeah,
that most certainly. But to Anthony's point, like the way the movie opens up, I just blew my mind.
The point of view, the breathing, I was like, this is fucking like as soon as it started, I was like, oh, this is how we're starting this off. This is
or even like the noise. That was wild.
Yeah. It's just small stuff like that. There's no glaring issues that I saw personally. I mean, I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow and Saturday, so maybe I'll see something more there. But as of right now, no glaring issues that I had major problems with. Just some small technical things here and there. And I somewhat agree with Phil's complaint about one of the last scenes, one of the last things that were shown, and how they handled that. But again, it wasn't something that like made it to where I was like, oh, it didn't break the movie. It didn't make me sit there like, oh, come on, that's ridiculous, that's stupid. No, it was just a small little thing, small little gripe is all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you're in for a treat round whenever you do decide to go see it. Yeah. But everybody, that actually ends up wrapping up our discussion on the Batman 2022. Unless everybody has any last second things they want to mention about this movie that we haven't covered.
Brian, go watch it.
Sequels. Let's go.
Yeah. Sequels, bring them. Spinoffs.
So, do you think that this is a trilogy that they're trying? That they signed on for a trilogy, or do you think it's just they're going to go, like maybe 4 films, 5 films?
I think a trilogy is the beginning point of it. If they manage to get anything more out of Pattinson, let alone Matt Reeves, I'd be genuinely surprised because
I'd be surprised but happy.
Yeah. How many directors come back and do more than 3 films? Like you've got
the Matrix director.
Okay. But I was also going to say the Russo brothers because they did, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Endgame, right? And then you've also got
but they got breaks and they got,
sure.
Yeah.
But then again, I think the Wachowskis had a pretty big break in between.
They had a huge break.
Yeah, between Resurrections and or Revolutions and Resurrections. And even like, Burton, he wanted to do a 3rd film, but WB was like, yeah, Tim, why don't you just go make another movie. We'll handle this, right? So it really is like, I would imagine up to the director's discretion. Honestly, Reeves has said, I want to make another movie after a big long nap, i.e., dude needs a break.
Yeah, sure.
And even Nolan made different movies in between.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if it's a situation like that, I think Reeves will at least come back for 2 more. If he gets, because obviously he's a director, man. He's probably like, I'd like to do these other projects. And like I said, Nolan did. I think he did Inception, in between.
He did it in
Dark Knight
between and Dark Knight Rises, right?
Yeah. So
because he brought over Jordan Levitt.
No,
was it
he
Joseph
brought over
Bane.
He brought over
Tom
Bane
Tom Hardy too. Yeah,
and Marion Cotillard,
Yep.
who played Talia.
Yeah. So I think if he gets to do that, I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem completely. Especially if it's something like, you know, if all the actors are on board to come back, you know what I mean? Because also, if at some point in time Pattinson's like, yo, I don't want to do this no more. I don't think Reeves will still want to direct anything that even connects to his other movie if Pattinson's not on board to be the Batman or Bruce Wayne. So,
but essentially for me, like I said before, this Batverse that they're establishing with the spin-off shows and the almost definitely coming sequels, that's the DCU that I'm personally following intently. You know, like very much following that just because it's the most interesting to me. It's you know, standalone. It's its own thing. It's got a lot of potential to grow. That's when we're spending most of my time with DC films for the next probably decade, if that ends up being the case of how many films they end up making. Just because I just like the world they established so much in this movie. So again, at the end of the day, if you haven't seen the movie, go and see it. You've heard plenty of praise for it here on the show today, to the point where if you don't see it, either you just hate Batman or you don't like being entertained. But we appreciate you guys tuning in today. Any final thoughts from everyone on the panel?
The movie's fire.
Go see it. That's all I gotta say.
Just my wife liked
it. Even Anthony's wife.
Even Brooke.
Yeah.
Even Brooke like that. I mean, I don't know.
That was good. I don't know if she'll ever watch it again.
I mean, you should have led with that. It's like, you know, hey, what do you think about it? Oh, it's fire. No, just no. Brooke liked it. Like, okay. See, she's the one that. Okay, I'm buying my tickets right now.
Wait a minute, is that your mom? Is that your mom?
That is my mom.
Hey.
In the comments on Facebook. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. My mom's been waiting for my analysis, if I can even say the word, of this movie for a bit. She's expecting a video. I was going to film a video.
Nice.
Got a little too tired, so I decided to do this instead.
So is she going to the movies on Saturday with you to see
it? No, I think she's going with... I know my little brother's going with friends tomorrow, I think. And my mom and my dad are going to see it at some point, too. So... I don't know exactly. And my dad's chiming in.
There you go.
Jim Carrey.
It's a family affair.
Yes.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Yes,
Jim Carrey dethroned? Yes. Dethroned. Dethroned.
Oh, come now.
Yes. Dethroned.
Yes.
You know, as a matter of fact, I don't even know if Jim Carrey was always solely on the throne. I don't know about.
Yeah.
I guess the live action Riddler, he's the only one besides like.
I mean, you've got
Corey Michael Smith.
Yeah.
No.
There's Frank Gorshin.
I mean, you've got Dawson, who was in Gotham.
No, I'm talking about like in the movies. Yeah. I actually wasn't. I didn't think.
Well, I mean, movies. You have what's his face, who was with Burgess Meredith.
Frank Gorshin.
Oh, Frank Gorshin. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. And that was a movie. They did Batman the movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Also says, should people be wary of an anticlimactic ending? No.
Not at all. No.
It's a great ending for this movie, and. Mom, I'm sorry, but no.
She's like, "Where's the trigger?"
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I know Dad's favorite was Michael Keaton.
There you go.
He disappointed me greatly.
No, because he has the Flash. The Flash has Michael Keaton coming back, so he'll be able to look forward to that. Hey, it's happening.
Yeah,
it is.
Again, I'm not going to go into this. I'm not going to into this at all. But anyways, guys, that's our view of the Batman.
Fishy swallow, sir.
It's fishy swallow, so it's supposed to be cold.
All right. With that, let's here we go.